Hello there, everyone. It is I, Reggie Goodday. How are we all doing? Are we doing good? I hope so. yeah. It's been a while since I made one of these videos. I usually do these videos around Christmas time and stuff like that. Um, but it's summertime now. Like this is a Christmas. We're starting off with like a Christmas video, but it's. I'll explain it when we get into it. Um, so I wanted to kind of now that this is summer, I kind of wanted to do, and I don't have like there's no new like cards out anymore and that kind of thing. Not for another little while. I will be doing more card review videos soon on my shorts. Well, they'll be out all the time anyway, but I'll be doing unboxing videos maybe every other week now because I'll be doing classic boxing unboxing videos of classic football cards and yeah, so I'm just kind of like mixing it up a little bit every week and just to see what kind of just to see kind of what way the algorithm, to be honest with you, to what way the algorithm on YouTube is these days, because it seems to like reaction videos to stuff. Um, so yeah, so we're going to check it out. I have YouTube Premium now, so we won't be bombarded by silly ads or anything like that. And so this comes from the BBC Archive. I like the BBC Archive. It's spitting out a lot of really funny, fun videos. I've watched it before on my channel, and like fun, weird videos of documentaries and stuff like that. But lately, it's kind of been spitting out. This was 4 years ago, but lately it's kind of been spitting out like retro gaming stuff, and so I think we could do it. Like we might start off with 1992. Kind of like or like I was a 90s kid, so kind of like that, and then we'll go into like the 2000s and just see how we go. Just see how we go. Like we could do the 80s at some point and that. Um, but yeah, I played video games a lot in the 90s and the 90s, and then I grew up and I kind of don't really play video games anymore. Kind of got a job and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so let's have oh look, there's Mortal Kombat here as well, so we might have a look at that. Um, so yeah, I might queue that up next as well. I like violent video games, like you know what I mean. So but we'll try and keep it PG, and well, it's BBC, so it'll be fine. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll just pull myself over there, and yeah, we'll just play.
Season again for toy retailers. But species like these fluffy bunnies face a new threat. The predator
Sonic.
disturbing their dreams is an electronic hedgehog. It's one of the new video games sweeping the youth market.
Make it big. I make it big.
Played on an ordinary television screen with a special console, they are really just a domestic version of the games you find in amusement arcades.
So, I remember watching a documentary. It was really interesting that a lot of these arcade machines, they just had like like a Nintendo or a Sega in it with the game in it, and that was it. There was nothing really like mental like the old days, like big circuit boards and all of that. It was just like no, they just put in a computer console, which makes a lot of sense, when you think about it.
Depends on the crucial Christmas season, but the UK market for video games could reach £500 or £600 million this year. At this party in Hamleys last Tuesday,
Like imagine that, like in 1992, they're like, oh my god, it could reach £5 or £6 million, and like the new GTA is going to be like 100 billion, like how much 100 million, like half a billion maybe. Like God knows how much money people are going to spend on that. Like and God knows how much money that game's going to make. But games now makes like they makes ton of money.
to launch Sega's Mark II version of Sonic the Hedgehog. There was plenty of celebratory hype.
That's an incredible number. I think worldwide we may have got to 5 million pieces today.
As Sega's Nick Alexander told the partygoers, they pre-sold 750,000 copies to the shops with a retail value of £27 million.
The biggest album in recent years sold 2 million copies at around 10 quid a time. That's £20 million. That's 30% than Sonic has taken on its first day.
The explosion in video games like these has been quite extraordinary. Even though we're in one of the worst recessions this century and consumer spending's flattened its back, sales of video games this year are expected to at least double. So it's going to be a bumper Christmas for Sega and for Nintendo.
See, this was kind of the start of, video games being really popular. Video games kind of, were popular through, like, when they came out in, like, the 70s and 80s and stuff. But video games were around in the 60s? Not really. Pinball machines, I suppose. But, like, in Pong came out in the 70s, I think. And then, like, in the 80s, video games exploded with Nintendo and Sega and stuff like that. And it went through into the 90s then as well.
Nintendo, the two Japanese rivals who've cornered this market. The problem is video games are taking away sales from other parts of the leisure industry.
Yeah.
Here at Nintendo in Japan, Sega's bigger rival and creator of Mario the Plumber, profits are set to reach $1.3 billion this year. It'll make Nintendo...
It's funny because, like, remembering back, like, Mario was very much seen as, like, well, they were all seen as, like, a kid's game, but, like, Mario was kind of seen as, like, a kid's game, and Sonic was seen kind of more of, like, an older kid's game type of thing. Even though I think Mario was kind of more difficult. I don't know, but yeah.
The third most profitable manufacturer on the Japanese stock market, and a fierce competitor internationally. Toys have been first in the firing line.
The impact the video game market has been having on other parts of the industry have been mainly in terms of the toy industry and also to a lesser but increasing extent on the music industry. Recorded sales of music have remained reasonably flat if you look at leisure spend between 88 and 91. However, going into record shops, you can see that increasing shelf space is taken up by video game software.
These games...
Not so much anymore. You go into, like, we've Gold Discs here in Ireland, and video games are gone. Like, they're just gone. They don't sell video games anymore. They just sell vinyls and DVDs and CDs, obviously. And they don't sell video games anymore. So that's, because you have video game stores now, and most video games you just download. Like, it's so that's the big difference.
This first started appearing in Britain's largest music retailer during the summer. They're now in about 180 of their 300 stores.
Relative to the music market, it's already half the size, so it's a big market. It's the sort of market that our customers are interested in, particularly these teenagers who are interested in exciting, innovative products.
With the recession taking its toll and the teenage population falling, this competition from video games comes at a bad time for the record industry. Despite rapid growth in compact discs, music sales have been stagnating in money terms and falling in volume.
See, people were so used to singing in their houses. And then, like, vinyl shops used to have, like, a room that you could go into and you could listen to the music and even sing to yourself, and nobody would really know. But, like, you would have these things then in the 90s, late 80s, 90s anyway. You would have these things where you could just go up and listen to the thing, and unbeknownst to yourself, you're singing to yourself. You know what I mean? And then everybody's kind of laughing at you for singing the song.
Dear Roy, thanks for your note of November.
But you don't see them
Ed
anymore.
Bicknell, manager of Dire Straits, the world's biggest-selling rock band on compact disc, says the industry is getting a temporary boost from the switch to CDs, but it's not facing up to the fundamental problems.
When I was growing...
Sorry, I had to stop and restart recording the video. I do it every 10 minutes just to kind of... sometimes I notice I'm using Brandy Cam, whatever, that if I'm recording for too long, it goes out of sync. So I just do it for 10 minutes and then that's fine.
Up, buying records by the Beatles, for instance, or Elvis, was a big event. I mean, you waited till that new Beatles record came out and you rushed off to the shop and you bought it and you took it to school and you played it to your mates and all the rest of it.
Did you?
With kids rushing out to spend their money on records by groups like the Beatles, it was boom times for the music industry. Buying and listening to music was quite simply one of the main things to do. But times have changed. Technology has transformed home entertainment. And many young kids now are growing up spending their time and their money on this kind of strange electronic world.
So, the point I'm trying to make in this video, I guess, is, you see Toy Story 5 come out recently, and the toys are battling with this iPad, with computer games and that on it. And I'm like, and they're not playing with toys anymore, you know what I mean? And, well, here you go, 1992. They're worried about kids not playing with toys anymore. They just want to play video games. So the narrative has always kind of been there since the 80s, the 90s. You know what I mean? Of like, oh, kids today. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the media's... It's kind of media being lazy, if I'm being honest. But then, a lot of people do see that their kids are addicted to their iPads because there's more and more incentive and there's more and more updates all the time. Whereas back then with these, it was like... you're only allowed to play video games on a rainy day. That was it. We weren't allowed to play video games on a sunny day. We had to be outside playing. These days, I don't think parents really care anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of sad. But yeah, I'll talk more. I'll let the video play on. I'll talk more about it.
For the video games generation, it's each new bit of game software which is greeted with such intense interest.
But there is that joke of your mum like smiling ear to ear when they see you getting it for Christmas. And like, yeah, I got it for Christmas. Oh my God, I'm so happy he got what he wanted for Christmas. And then you go to play the thing and they're mad at you.
And the games are rapidly put through their paces to see how they shape up.
Where the hell am I? What am I doing?
This is flying around. Look, I'm spinning around.
Oh, no.
And also, like, these days they give, oh my gosh, kids, they just swear so much playing video games. No, dude, we've always sworn playing video games.
Look, I've got 3 tails, look how I get all coins, look.
Nowadays, it's a stronger youth culture than rock and roll is. I think that rock and roll has become very, very bland and faceless music on the whole, and I think video games has captivated that sort of an audience looking for something, and it's captivated them with the interactive side of it, with the whole.
But you see, then with PlayStation, they incorporated rock songs into it, so it kind of mellowed out. Then
sensory experience of colour, sound, gameplay, everything like that.
We do have a problem in the music industry, and in a sense I'm part of it, which is that the majority of people who are controlling it are probably now in their 40s or 50s, and maybe it's just a simple, straightforward thing that people don't understand the psyche, if you like, of a 12, 13, 14-year-old.
42-year-old John Preston, who runs both RCA and Arista, insists record companies are mostly staffed by young...
Well, it's funny because, like, in the 90s, but in the 90s, yeah, sure, video games were big, but boy bands were huge. Like, Take That and Boyzone and Westlife. Like, so the music industry came fighting back then, mostly with teenage girls, but like with boys, I guess Metallica, rock and roll type of stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Young people, and he denies the industry's lost out to video games.
I don't believe that it is right to say that we've missed out. Clearly there are opportunities that we ought to be sharing in, and that is something that we need to look to as an industry for the future. However, the fact of the matter is that really what's happened is that there have been changes in music, and the good record companies respond to those changes.
Yeah, it got worse.
Possibly bad record companies won't respond.
It got worse.
But whether or not the music industry is
That's
still
the thing.
in touch with today's youth...
But that's the thing. Rock and roll wasn't that big in the 90s. It wasn't. Pop music was huge. And yeah. So like rock music didn't really come back till like the 90s. So
are video games really going to last? Consultants Booz Allen and Hamilton reckon they are here to stay.
Yeah.
And that the UK market's still relatively immature.
1 in 3 households in the United States have video game consoles. In England at the moment, you've only got 11% penetration, so approximately 1 in 10 households have a video game. There's obviously great growth potential in the English market if you compare it to the States.
Sega claims there's big potential among adults, and one of the fastest growing parts of its market now is 20 to 45-year-olds. However, even Sega admits growth cannot continue at present rates.
No.
Our feeling is that for next year the market will grow maybe another 50% on this year. We really see the whole industry converging. I mean, off the back of CD as being a medium that all these products will be based on.
Look at what he's got behind him. So I had this. This came out in the 80s, right? But I had this. I got a second-hand one of them, so I could play the games, right? So is that Master System? Yeah. So then, what you did was see this thing here. You had to buy one of these to put on top of the new Mega Drive, so that you could play your old Master System games. You know. That's the way it went.
And so we see ourselves moving into the mainstream.
And also, this is framed like, he's trying to sell these products.
Really, our
on top of his fridge.
Record companies and video companies and consumer electronics companies.
It's full videotapes.
And who's going to win out?
I think that's very, very hard to say. I mean, there are a lot of very big players there. But it's going to be a very interesting battle.
The video games companies bring technological skill.
Video games won. Just so you know, I think it's fair to say video games have kind of won, because musicians don't really make money off of selling music anymore. They make the money going on tour, which is why, like, I just seen Metallica there. If you didn't see my Metallica video, you should check it out. It's really good. But their tour has lasted now. I think they're in their third year of their M72 tour, and it's because tours make so much more money now than because everybody wants life experience. People want experience now over cheap fappiness of products and stuff like that. So okay, it's kind of better.
Skills to their business, which the music business doesn't necessarily have, but technological skills are more easily learned than the skills of creating stars. And that's the business that we've been in. And clearly, with the success of individual games and individual items, that's about building stars. That's our business.
Already the divisions in the entertainment industry are becoming blurred.
I hope we don't get the
The Sonic
MCA'd.
launch wasn't just for a video game. There's a Sonic record, and this video of the record of the game. And the battle's on. Minimum commercial advantage in this converged...
Okay, so now we've kind of set it up now. What the world of video games were like in the 90s, early 90s. They were kind of big with kids and 35-year-olds because they're fun and they're fun. And it's better. There was not much on the telly back in the day because there was only 5 or 6 stations, unless you got Sky satellite. And even then, there wasn't that much on. So yeah, so the next thing now is violent video games. The violent video games kind of was a niche, very niche thing. You could kind of buy them in the black market back in the day, back in the 80s. But now in the 90s, violent video games were kind of coming through. And so the first prolific one of that was Mortal Kombat. Now, Mortal Kombat 2, the movie's recently come out, and it did very well in the box office, actually. And I think they are going to proceed in making a third one. But yeah, so this is kind of the story of how the original Mortal Kombat came about and stuff like that.
Now, you've seen the billboards all over Britain. Vinnie Jones, Ice-T and other assorted hard nuts glowering out over the words Mortal Kombat. It took a while to realise that this wasn't another Schwarzenegger blockbuster, but the latest addition to Britain's fastest-growing entertainment industry, computer games. Based on a pop...
And we weren't allowed to play this game, not because it was like a fighting game, but because it had simulated blood in it. And these days now, you get green blood coming out, so it's not like... It's less severe, I guess, but... Yeah, so this was the start of it.
Popular video arcade game, Mortal Kombat is a martial arts war at your fingertips, technically more sophisticated and graphically more violent than existing games. As most of us over 16s have never actually played a computer game, the Late Show thought it was time to find out what all the fuss is about.
Which is
so
funny.
In a moment I'll be talking to the writer Will Self and the product designer Richard Seymour, who've been test driving the game for us. But first, the beginner's guide to Mortal Kombat. It looked like a recruitment campaign for some lunatic band of vigilantes. In fact, the billboards were part of one of the biggest promotional drives the computer games market has ever seen. And it worked.
Yeah, it's the Sega.
With a UK turnover of £15 million.
Because again, like I was saying earlier, Nintendo was very much like a kid's console, whereas Sega was like a teenager's console, because it had games like Mortal Kombat.
Week in the shops, Mortal Kombat was second only to Jurassic Park in the entertainment industry's hit parade of big earners. The principle is simple. Each player is a combatant in a virtual battleground, assuming the persona of a different martial arts expert. By tapping in a special code, an extra gory level of graphics can be accessed. The game is then a matter of bludgeoning your opponent with blows and kicks. The winner eventually earns the honour of tearing out the loser's heart. The makers of Mortal Kombat have sold the game very much on its...
It's interesting because the game itself was based off of... They filmed live actors on a green screen, blue screen, and then they incorporated it into the game. So that's why the graphics look so good. It's because it's like... it's real actors, doing all of these moves. And then they digitized it for the 16-bit.
Violence, although at first sight the uninitiated might wonder why. By cinematic standards, the graphics are crude and two-dimensional, but unlike the cinema, this is an interactive medium,
really show
and
that
Mortal
much.
Kombat tailors itself to the individual player. The better you get at the game, the harder it gets as the computer responds to your moves. It's the most fully interactive game yet. But is it the future? How will this new generation of computer games ultimately affect the way we relate to the world around us? At the end of the day, how will it mess with our heads?
Also, if you're a
regular user of
I mean, yes. The answer to our question is yes. Because obviously gamers got older and older, and they want games that, they can play, like, not baby games. Like, they want, like, GTA, and they want games like that. So, like, yeah.
Computer games. How did Mortal Kombat mess with your head?
Well, I don't think it messed with it at all, really. I mean, I think it's got very poor levels of what you call suspension of disbelief. It's very hard to think your way into it. I mean, it may provide an adrenaline rush for people who like punching buttons very quickly, but I think it's no more sophisticated than a game of ping pong, it seems to me.
Richard, you are a regular user of computer games. Is this state of the art, and what is different about it from the existing games?
Technically, it's about as good as we've seen so far. The really interesting things about it really aren't to do with what you're seeing on screen at all. It's what's happening in the software programming side that's leading us into new generations of products. And there's the very beginnings of sort of very basic machine intelligence at work in this. These things learn from how you play. They understand, or they work out through some quite complex mathematics in the program, how you are failing. And they then strengthen their resolve and their attack from that point of view. So it's quite sinister development, really.
What about... And when you think about the new GTA game, GTA 6, they've programmed it now where the, what do you call them? The guys in the shops and all of that, like the NPCs, right? They're going to remember you now. Like, you know, you can't just reset the game or whatever. Well, you can reset the game. But, like, you can't just go to a save point and then load it up a game and then they've forgotten everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, after you got arrested, everybody's forgotten. Apparently now in the new GTA 6 game, they're going to remember you through the whole thing. So the level of difficulty is heightened. So if you rob a shop, that shopkeeper will always remember you for the rest of the time you play the game. So, like, that's pretty insane. So this is the genesis of it. Pardon the pun, Sega Genesis. But yeah, this is the genesis, the start of games learning from you.
The graphic sophistication, much has been made about how graphically this is very sophisticated. Will says he didn't find it so. I mean, is this as good as it gets at the moment?
Well, it's funny, really, isn't it? The backgrounds seem pretty cheesy, don't they? The sort of things we've seen before. But the reason that the backgrounds are so dull is because they need all the power in the rig to drive the characters. The characters are actually taken from real-life filming of real-life figures that then redigitize these characters to produce these individuals. So they're sort of semi-photo real.
Presumably you've played, although you're not a...
The WWE games, the first WWE game, not the first one, but like one of the games WWE put out did the same thing. I think Vince McMahon saw this and was like, I want that to be my next game. You know what I mean?
Regular games player.
So there's great videos
like Space Invader
there's great videos of like Yokozuna and that, and Shawn Michaels doing their moves, and I think Shawn Michaels gets mad, or Yokozuna gets mad doing it.
Did the relative sophistication of this compared to those early games draw you in more?
Well, I think that's very interesting. I think when Space Invaders came out, it did seem to be a kind of radical departure as far as arcade games were concerned. But what we're talking about now is whether this has any role as a narrative medium comparable to entertainment medium comparable to a film or a novel, you know. And I think it will when we have full motion video, when we have full photorealism throughout the sequence. Then the element of interactivity and machine intelligence that Richard's been talking about will give us a new medium, de facto, a new kind of medium, a new narrative entertainment medium.
What about
again, GTA, Red Dead Redemption, just like when the PlayStation came out, it had games like that. It had narrative games like that. When the PlayStation 2 was the biggest selling console ever, and it had games like that where it had a narrative going all the way through, and narrative games, and so that's what made it. Like GoldenEye for the N64 was a very popular game, and it had a narrative. But yeah, I mean, you think about all the games they're spitting out now. The majority of games have narratives in them now, and some of the games are better than TV shows. You know,
violence. I mean, is the violence of Mortal Kombat sort of much more extreme than existing games?
If you make a comparison with other games, then this is a new level of nasty. I mean, ripping someone's head off or pulling their heart out is pretty extreme stuff, isn't it? But you compare it with the Circus Maximus, or you compare it with Reservoir Dogs, and it's pretty, kindergarten stuff, isn't it?
But the difference is that you're actually there doing it.
Yeah,
or you're not actually there doing it, but you're...
But again, it's a video game, but you have to understand, adults lost their minds when this game came out, and nobody was allowed to have it. The same when GTA games came out. there was these special reports on TV, and they were telling adults not to buy these games for their kids, and they were marked 18, so they couldn't buy, so they weren't allowed for kids anyways. But Mortal Kombat wasn't, so that's why the TV and also mainstream media hate video games because they can't control them, they can't control the narrative, all that kind of stuff.
Actually, they're doing it.
You say this, it's an interesting point. You've got to ask yourself a simple question. Who's playing who here? Are you pressing the buttons, or is the game pressing your buttons? Really, the programmer is pressing your buttons. He's already proscribed all of the moves here. He's set the thing up. It's he who's playing you, and it's him who's manipulating your movement. So to believe that this is true interactivity, or meta design, where you yourself are controlling the outcome, is a little bit naive, really. You are an innocent in this territory.
Does that excite you as a writer, the possibility of this new interactive medium?
Yeah, I think it'll be a great medium, a very exciting medium to work in, unquestionably. And I think that like any good medium, it will point up extreme moral dilemmas for the artist, because when you get into situations, we've been saying, with photoreal figures who you can decide to do things to, and you have the machine deciding to do things to you in your guise. It's very like Ray Bradbury's idea in Fahrenheit 451 of the continuous soap opera in which you're delivered a part every day, and people on the screen turn to you and say, well, what do you think, Tracy? And you have your line ready. And we're going to be able to do things like that allow people to participate in these experiences. It
is amazing how they predicted it. They predicted the future of video games. This is going to be the start. We're going to move on now. If you want to watch the rest of this video, you can. There's another 3 minutes in it. It's a very good video. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead now a decade to 2004, where we get the rise of kind of the next generation of video games. PlayStation 2. So because PlayStation 1 came out 96, I think. So yeah, this is the PlayStation 2 kind of. So again, this is from the BBC Archive. Shout out to BBC Archive. This is like a half an hour long video. We won't be watching all of it, but we'll watch bits of it.
Video games are the world's fastest growing entertainment industry.
I have absolutely no doubt that every person who currently watches television will play computer games regularly.
They are at the cutting edge of digital creativity.
You will always find something that you like. There's something for everyone.
The worlds they create are becoming ever more complex and compelling.
I think for the first time in 50,000 years, even 100,000 years, the human brain might get modified, might be changed in ways that we had never thought possible.
Love them or hate them, video games are here.
Again, you watch how how the video started in the previous videos and this video. They're starting with the same premise. Oh my God, what's this going to do to our brains? It's just fun. It's just entertainment. Sure, some people get caught up on it and maybe it drives them mad, but and they get addicted to it, which is kind of why I stopped having to play video games, because once I start playing a game, I kind of want to finish it. And of course, when a game takes like 100 hours to finish, then it's not fun and entertaining to me, because I'm going to lose a weekend trying to finish this game. So that's why kind of like my mum, I remember my mum was going to buy me the PlayStation 3 and I just says for Christmas or when it came out, and I just says to her no. And she's like, why not? And I was like, I'm just done with video games. Like, I'm just done wasting my spare time with video games. I'd rather play the bass guitar. I'd rather go out into the world and do stuff. And I did, with bands and you go on my YouTube channel, you see everything I did for the last, almost 20 years. I'd rather do kind of anything else other than play a video game. That's not to say that I don't watch, I do watch other people playing video games on YouTube. It's kind of funny to pass the time and listen to them play it as I'm walking, because I can multitask. But yeah, but it's funny. Like, it's funny.
Here to stay.
What am I
Art has
even
always
talking about?
evolved
I
in
don't know.
parallel with technology.
Same with,
New
like, the
horizons
Matrix.
were opened up by the invention of the printing press, the camera, and the electric guitar. Video games are our newest cultural form, and they are developing faster than anything before.
But like, even back in the day when rock and roll first came out, they were like, "Oh my god, kids are addicted to rock and roll. What are we going to do? How's it going to affect our brains?" Like, and it's just like it's just the media fear mongering. Like, sure enough, like a little warning, a little question of how is this going to affect this and that. But like, ultimately, the mainstream media love to fearmonger parents. It's like, and I'm almost 40 and I'm just like, God, they're still doing it. And I thank God there's a generation, like my generation is now going, I'm hoping my generation's now going, yeah, I see it. Yeah, they did do that to us in the 90s. Hillary Clinton warning about violent video games and trying to get them banned and all that. And like, there's a whole GTA thing about that. But
a fitting mirror for our accelerated 21st century society. One day, games might even start to play us.
What does that even mean? Like, what? What? Like, see the stupidity of, like... there's PS2. Fortunately, it's not a console that really lived long.
It is a pastime.
I ended up
for
having to buy a new
wretched
PS2.
creatures who are stupefied by their daily jobs. A machine of mindlessness and dissolution.
And again, like, I'd probably make a video about when rock and roll first came out. Oh, rock and roll, it's melting kids' brains, it's making them stupid. And then when TV came out, oh my God, kids are so addicted to television, it's rotting their brains. Like, it's the same stupid narrative.
This is how many people see video games today. They're popular but despised, fun but not considered worthy of serious attention. Yet this isn't a quote about video games. It was written more than 70 years ago by the French novelist Georges Duhamel. And he was talking about cinema. Not many people today would accuse film of being a mindless distraction. It's a central part of our
But they did
culture,
in the beginning.
and it's just a matter of time before we look at video games in the same light.
Film in itself.
If you see, like, what was the second Downton Abbey movie where they were shooting a film, they were like, oh, movies will never last. They're not as good as plays. Give me a break.
It must have been incredible when people could first project moving images. I'm sure the audience went nuts. But, after a while, you go nuts 3 or 4 times, and then you want a good story. You want a good film, not just film. And I think that's, at the moment, we're kind of pausing to see, for a generation to understand what computer games can do, and then take it somewhere more interesting.
I would foresee video games overtaking film, because we can offer more. We can offer everything that a film can offer, but we can offer more. We can offer greater emotion. We can offer the same narrative, but in an interactive way.
Just as early cinema combined simple action with the thrill of new technology, so too did early video games. As with cinema and photography, much of their energy in the early days was spent mastering a new technology. But now, a new potential is emerging.
I think we're probably about a third of the way along from the crudest early images, Pac-Man if you like, to something which might be awesome, might be absolutely awesome.
Bethesda,
by the year 2015.
Bethesda put out a lot of games as well.
Art, film, architecture and music, but they are not simply a fusion of other forms. What makes games unique
is the crazy thing is, like, Bethesda put out like a lot of narrative games too, when you think about it. So this was 2004, and there was a guy, one of the heads of Bethesda, going, "Yeah, we're going all in."
They transport you to a place where you interact with the creation
the
in
old
an
TVs.
extraordinary kinetic way. Because of this, video games evade simple comparison with other art forms. Novels, paintings, or the cinema provoke your imagination, but only video games change dynamically under your control.
Obviously, a film builds up an extraordinary world that you really want to be part of, you really want to go into. The strength that we have in video games is that we can use the same techniques to do exactly the same thing, but you can genuinely explore it. You can go into an immersive, exciting world. And provided you really want to be in that world, it is an extraordinary place to be and an extraordinary place to explore. And you simply can't do that in any other medium.
I think what...
You see, this is connecting with the previous video. Remember they were predicting all of this stuff? And then PlayStation 2, like I said, there it is.
Makes for a game that's more than just a bit of entertainment is that it should be beautiful, and I think this is very beautiful, especially when you consider that none of this is real. It's all been dreamt up. This is a world that only exists.
Like, the special kids today, they might look at this and go, the graphics they're not that great. But when this came out in 2004, this was amazing. This was like, oh my god, it's so realistic. Like, it's so real. That's what people wanted. They wanted realistic looking games. Yeah.
There's a stream of electronic pulses.
They're about experimentation. They're about cause and effect.
So I had to start somewhere. That's my point.
About seeing what happens if I do this. And that's something that no film, no book can give you. You can't experiment in the course of reading a book.
And that's why modern video games are so replayable.
Instead,
because
and it's that
you can go down
that
another
makes
pathway,
different from
and
any
have
other
fun.
Sort of cultural or entertaining undertaking.
What is most seductive about today's video games is that they build an entire world in ever-increasing detail and then invite you to enter and explore. All you have to decide is which one you want to be in. You can climb the Mafia career ladder in swinging 80s Miami.
Yeah.
Sneak through the jungle and eat wildlife in a period spy thriller.
A lot less abstract, a lot less stark than they once were. And that the worlds that they now present are so vivid and enticing that when people see them, they want to become involved in them.
The gaming audience is changing massively, and I think that the old cliche of the bedroom gamer and the sort of, pasty-faced boy is completely dissolved now.
The gaming audience are now a full spread of age groups, ranging from kids through to 20, 30 and even 40-somethings, and obviously a few either end. And that has allowed the kind of games that we make to be much broader in their content.
There are even games for people who'd like to take things more
Sims.
gently in the American suburbs. In The Sims, you don't go to war, but stay at home and design yourself a virtual house, career and love life.
No offence, but
I think The Sims was one of the first games that did have a kind of really mass appeal to girls, and I think The Sims was a very important game
I hated that
in
game.
those terms.
It is so
kind of like playing
stupid.
with Barbie dolls.
I think most girls like choosing their own pets and what The Sims wear, because you can buy their own clothes and things. So I think it's quite a girly game.
And they like forming relationships and setting girls and boys up.
So I'm just skipping forward ahead. This video is like half an hour long. Go check it out if you want. But they're talking about how the video games are made now. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of that, just to kind of see how they made video games back in the day.
Of lines and points which go to make your three-dimensional city.
Looks like a Hitman layout.
The second stage is wallpapering with grey wallpaper, if you like, without any textures, to see what sort of detailed environment you're going to need, what is too complex for the game, what is not complex enough. Once you've got those volumes, if you like, you can then place texture maps over the top of that. Texture maps allow you to have the very detailed photorealistic facades to beautiful old historical buildings. Once you've created the three-dimensional landscape that is the city, you've then obviously got to populate it with...
but that's like, that's how, like... It's just... This is how they did it back in the day, look. They just went, we'll just... wallpaper. We'll get a picture of an old building and we'll just stick it on. We'll just slap it on. That's good enough. It was like you'd never get away with that now. Maybe in the kids' game, but like you'd have to texture all of that stuff out. Like, it's insane. But like this is what they did because
the
CDs, like all the games were on like CDs. So it could only hold so much. It was to save space on CDs, and also it was the limit of the technology back in the day. They couldn't, so they just had to just do this. And I was like, yeah, that looks realistic. That's good enough, you know.
Dimensional landscape that is the city. You've then obviously got to populate it with bad guys, with good guys, with neutral guys. We have our own tool system, which allows us
and again,
to
look,
place.
Look with the grass. Look what they did with the grass. Look what they did with the grass and the bushes. Oh god.
We have.
Look what they did with the grass. It's just wallpapered on as well. There's no there's no actual grass. Like, it's just wallpapered on.
Our own tool system, which allows us to.
At least the trees. They made an attempt with the trees.
You can literally take a particular type of character, put them down in the map, drop into the computer game, and see whether they're in the right place. And if they're in the wrong place, you pick them up by the scruff of the neck, move them somewhere else. It's very much like having a doll's house to play with in a very highly complex way.
As game worlds become more and more realistic.
But you see, that's the thing. That's what kind of clashed. It was like it's very cartoony characters, and then you have realistic kind of, you know, buildings and stuff. So it was very much of its time, and it's you wouldn't get that now. Either a game is realistic or it's cartoony. You don't get a mix really anymore. You know what I mean? Because it just it doesn't look great. But back then, like, they just
motion capture techniques.
So they did a lot. This started motion capture. Well, the start of motion capture again was back in the 90s when they were doing Mortal Kombat and that. But it really took off in the 90s now.
Worlds with increasingly convincing characters.
Could you
so this is what you used to have to wear.
Side, please. A little bit more.
Like now, they kind of just make you wear a green suit or a black suit and green dots on your face and stuff like that, and then, you know, the programs take it from there. Whereas now, like, the sensors had to be stuck onto you.
And
a bit mental.
Out to your front.
Look.
Okay, that's great. And back out to your
so
side.
many computers.
Just the black sensors that are on Steve's body.
So they're the sensors.
So what I'm basically doing is taking a human character and aligning the character up with those points. So when I've finished, we'll have something that is in exactly the same pose as Steven. So it will follow his movements exactly.
As long as I stay within a
defined
magnetic field, I'm in the
this is the start of it.
Every movement I make is replicated by my virtual self.
Forms, I think.
It's long been hoped that these problems could be solved by artificial intelligence, a computer so clever that it could rewrite the story as it happened. But true artificial intelligence is still science fiction.
I don't know now, lads. It's 2026. AI is becoming a problem. But there you go. They're thinking again. You know, they're predicting things again. It's way off. No, it's here. Will AI get involved now with video games? You know.
I can't help thinking that this isn't going to work.
And anyway, a story is something we like to be told, whereas a game is something we participate in. I think the idea of interactive stories is a red herring. What artificial intelligence will provide is an ever more convincing illusion of a world populated by other conscious beings.
Ultimately, what artificial intelligence
they did try to do
is to judge you.
Shut up. They did try to do it in that Matrix game where they had AI characters and stuff, but it didn't really work. Like, it was a bit silly. It was a bit stupid. But, yeah.
Or to empathise with you so closely that you'll have a character in the world which you won't be able to distinguish from a human being, and that will just be your best friend.
A crude version of artificial intelligence can already be seen in a game like The Sims. Each character has a variety of internal barometers that simulate simple functions like hunger, curiosity, or fear. South Korea, one of the world's most wired-up countries. 4 million Koreans play the most popular online game, Lineage, and 10% of the population play video games every day.
People are starting to blur the real world and the
more than
artificial
that now, I
world,
think.
so that on eBay, which is an online trading service, people...
Did you know that eBay is an online trading service? I was like, what do you first eBay first? Anyway.
will actually sell you a character or something for that character, like magic sword or a house or whatever. And this thing.
So there's where it started on eBay. So there's where all of the upselling started on eBay. You can buy this special sword and that. Now it's just in the game and it's on PC and that.
It won't exist at all. It will simply be an entitlement in the online game, and people pay real money for that. I know it sounds absolutely extraordinary, but it's certainly happening. And that is a perfect example of the virtual world spawning real money, which I'm sure you'll see a lot more of.
Being present in life is something that people find, well, let's say I find sometimes quite difficult to deal with, the fact that you're always there, that there's no stepping back from it. It feels very raw at times, and that something that you can switch on that allows you to shift away from that. It's very comforting, and perhaps it's that comfort that feels dangerous. The kind of almost devilish, that you get stroked and comforted.
Not to sound all like meaning of life-ish, but that's kind of where he's going, because it's nearly the end of the video now, because they're trying to be all philosophical. What do you call it? Anyway, but yeah, it gives you a chance to tune off and go into a different world and just have some fun in a different world. You know what I mean? It's like going on holidays. Like, it's just, you're experiencing a different world and you're having some fun, and then that's it, And you might learn something.
And you don't...
Philosophical. That's the word I was looking for. So it's hard to get philosophical, but you shouldn't get too philosophical with video games. They're just entertainment.
Want to go back, perhaps?
In my field, we say you see with your brain and not with your eyes. We know that what's inside your head will determine how you see the outside world. And I think...
Okay, they're getting all philosophical about stuff.
As we spend more of our time there, in what way might that change us? We could enjoy new forms of social interaction, maybe even build new alternative societies. Or we could become willing slaves of the Matrix and entertain ourselves to death.
You have to understand too, this is just 5 years after the first Matrix came out. I think the second Matrix movies were out, the sequel movies were out around this time. So everybody was trying to be kind of a bit edgy and all of that, and philosophical about that life, and are we actually in a video? Is this the Matrix? All of that kind of nonsense. But this guy's insane. I don't know who this guy. I've never seen this guy before, but he's pretty intense. Okay, so we're going to look at now at what the media thinks of video games today. Kind of put in perspective.
Some gamers are unhappy with Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto 6 for a few reasons. The price for the standard edition of the game, $69.99, has been called reasonable by some, but it's the $89.99 Ultimate Edition that's causing some issues. The Ultimate Edition not only locks off extra clothes and certain cars, but makes in-game stores and even some gameplay exclusive to those who pay the extra £20. And then there's the physical edition, something fans have called the final nail in the coffin for video games as we know it, because those editions won't have discs, but will have a code to download the game digitally instead, leading to some smaller retailers in the US refusing to sell it. But why could Rockstar have made this choice? Video game journalist Vic Hood said
Money.
From Rockstar's point of view...
Because it's cheaper not having to print out the games, not having to actually make the game. A physical copy of the game is cheaper.
view, the decision made sense. The company has been subject to hacks and leaks a number of times during the game's development. By preventing the game's code from being on a disc, the chances of it being extracted and leaked ahead of release on November 19th are now much slimmer. There being no disc also hurts the resellability of the game for fans, but means that Rockstar doesn't miss out on any profit. For fans, it also calls into question something that's been rumbling on for a while. Do you ever actually own digital content? Rockstar's not the first company to sell a physical version that doesn't contain the actual game. Some Switch 2 titles come on game keycards that require a download, and many new console releases won't play without an internet connection and day one update. But Rockstar hasn't ruled out GTA 6 ever releasing on a disc, possibly just at a later date.
Some people are saying it's too big to be put on a disc. Okay, so we're just doing a Rockstar Games employee tells us if he'll play the GTA game.
Or play the latest Grand Theft Auto game.
I really don't know still. I definitely don't think I will buy it. I don't think I'll be able to bring myself to personally. Obviously, a lot of my friends will either presumably be gifted copies by the company, and probably other people will buy it. So I will probably play it at some point, but it is hard to say. I might get to it and try and sit down and play it, and it'll just be too I just won't be in the mood to play it. It'll probably just bring back too much. But I'm not sure. It's something I have thought about quite a lot, to be honest.
So like the media still kind of, fear mongers about video games sometimes too, but a lot of of course, the media kind of understands too that there is a big market for this, so we better kind of make videos for them for gamers as well. So their whole thing now is it really worth it? It's so expensive though. And I'm like, put it to you this way, right? I don't really go to rock shows as much as I used to, but when Metallica came to Slane, right? The standard ticket was €60, but I could pay €200 for the Golden Circle ticket, where I'm next to the stage and I'm saying hello to them, and I get a free goodie bag full of stuff that's worth more than €100. It was worth it to me. It was more than worth it to me. And again, I'm like, I'm only going to go to one rock show this year. I'm going to go and see Metallica. Now, this year, in 2026, I went to two. I went to Biffy Clyro in January, and I went to Metallica. You should check out them videos. They're really good. Got this t-shirt, Biffy. But, so the whole debate over, oh my god, video game. No, it's just the thing of it is, they made a cheap version for the kids, so that the kids could get it for Christmas. That's what it is. And if later on they want to spend, they might get, money off of their relatives, and they want to spend then the extra money to get the add-on packs, they will. But as an adult, there's like three different packets, right? There's the €60 packet, €60 packet, €80 packet, and then there's the $100 packet. As an adult, I'm going to pay the €100. I'm going to pay the €100. Do you want to know why? Because I want it all. I want the best experience I can get. Just it's the only video game I'm going to play this year. It's the only big video game that I really care about. So I'm going to buy it, and I don't care. What's €100? Like I'm employed. I work a full-time job. I'm going to pay €100. I do not care. So
Rockstar Games has revealed that there will be 2 editions of Grand Theft Auto 6 when it releases later this year. The standard edition of the game is expected to cost $80 when pre-orders go live at midnight tonight, and the Ultimate Edition, which includes exclusives like clothes, cars, and even in-game stores, will be $100. But a surprise to many gamers, the purchase of the physical edition of the game will not come with a disc, but with a code to download the game instead. Freelance video game journalist Vic Hood said the price tag for the standard edition was fairly reasonable, but said the lack of disc may irk some physical collectors. The game will only be single player at launch too, with no news yet for a multiplayer online mode. Grand Theft Auto 6, which some analysts say could be the most expensive ever made, will be released on November 19th. And you'll need a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S to play it. So, what do you think of the price?
But like I say, like it doesn't matter.
After years of waiting,
I'm
GTA 6 finally...
I'm just going to leave it there so you can kind of see me. But like I remember buying Age of Empires back in the day, and it was a really good game. And then an add-on edition came out later on where it was like extra levels, and then like Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun came out, and then an add-on edition came out for it. Like, you know, and with the Sims, there was like, you could buy the Sims, and then there was like, well, now there's a Diesel Jeans edition where you can get it for like $20, and like you can put all your Sims in Diesel clothes, like, you know. And I think the Sims kind of were the first kind of to do it, and then you could just buy different clothes in the game with in-game money, and then, you know, or else you can get the cards, you know, as in the shops, and for like €10, €20, and buy. But see, that's the thing. If I want this game, I'm just going to pay the €8. I don't care. Why should I care? I don't care. And people giving it a bit the physical copy thing. Man, dude, that's the way it's going to go. Like, you know, I know it's kind of sad, but like that's the way it's going to go. It's just going to be all digital. Oh, but I won't be able to resell it. And it's like, dude, it wasn't yours in the first place. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but they weren't yours. And even CDs are kind of worthless, and LPs are kind of not worth much money either. You know, but like people like to sell them just to get rid of them. Like this way now, you don't have to get rid of it. It's on your account. It's always there on your account, you know, and you can play it whenever you want or not. Maybe someday it'll sell accounts. I don't know, but you know, that's kind of the future, and that's the way it's going to go. And I kind of predicted that like a few years ago. But yeah, but it's not a new thing. Like to pay the $20 extra for for a few better cars and better clothes and all that. Like, you know, like, okay, I might pay it and not care. Other people kind of go, who cares? Like, I just want to play the game. And honestly, the extra $20 just for the different cars and better clothes, different clothes, it doesn't really impact the game or the narrative. So it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? But of course, like, but who cares? Just play the game and have fun. So that's all I'm really saying. You know, so that's my take on GTA 6. I can't wait to watch people playing it online on YouTube. I won't be playing it. Because again, I'll have to buy a PlayStation 5, which costs how much money? And then the game itself. And I could be spending like €500 just to play one game. And that's another video I should get into. Like, the consoles themselves are ridiculous amount of money, you know, and that's, I think, why people play on PCs now, because it's just like, well, I have got a laptop. I'm just going to download, like, if I want to play GTA, I just download the game on my laptop or play it on the server or whatever it is, and it's fine. That's it. It's okay. And you know what? I'm kind of glad that I don't have the physical copies, because so many physical copies end up in second-hand shops and then just end up in landfills and just end up in dumps. You know, there's very few people who actually collect video games. There's very few people who want to save their video. Now, I saved all of my old video games, but there's very few people who actually do that, and they're the only ones that complain. And that's why, like, Sony or Rockstar, they don't care. That is because, again, it's a very small amount of people who actually, and then you get the physical copy, and what happens? You open it up, and it's just a game. The map is gone. Because whoever owned the game decided, oh no, I'm going to keep the map. I'm going to keep it on my wall. I'm going to get it framed. But I'll get rid of the game. You know what I mean? Like, they keep the maps, you know, and that's why you get more money than GameStop or sex, you know what I mean, wherever you sell the games, that's where you get more money if the map is included. But a lot of people just lose the map and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if they're actually doing that even anymore. But yeah, that was the thing with the old GTA games. The whole if the maps were in it or not. Like, it's so stupid. But anyway, that's my rant. And it's kind of like, kind of just to show you guys that, listen, people have been fear-mongering about video games forever. Like I said, like I could show you videos about Hillary Clinton. Actually, I will. Hang on. So here it is. Here's Hillary Clinton trying to fearmonger the world.
I'm here today as a parent and a senator, and along with my colleagues and so many of the advocates from around the country,
helping
we
parents
are
protect their
determined
kids.
to stop a situation in which video games with pornographic and violent content are being peddled to our children. Now, as you can see from the posters that we have displayed here, many games contain content that is deeply disturbing. It's almost routine in popular games for players to spray other people with Uzis, to drive over pedestrians, to kill police officers, to attack women, and in some cases, even to engage in cannibalism.
Oh, right, they were
Players
talking
commit
about that one game.
gruesome acts like these using top-of-the-line graphics.
I should mention that there was a game that came out back in the day that was really crazy. I won't even mention its name, and it was banned in a bunch of countries because kids were playing out. So yeah, so that game had to be banned. Fair enough, because it wasn't a real game. It was awful, and nobody I knew wanted to play it either. But that was kind of the spark of, we need to ban all violent video games, which again is pressing the nuclear button and going completely overactive about it.
In stunningly realistic detail. But we have 40 years of research to tell us that violent media is bad for our children.
Yeah, but she was also going after violent movies too.
Statistical analysis yet conducted, violent video games increase aggressive behavior as much as lead exposure decreases children's IQ scores. And I want people to think about that. Everybody knows lead poisoning is bad for children. Oh, I want everybody to know that exposure to violent video games...
Penn and Teller did a great episode of Penn and Teller be Bullsh, where they were like, they had kids play video games and have fun, and then they had the kid shoot a real gun and he hated it. So there is a big difference, you know what I mean, between fantasy and reality. But this was her whole campaign as a governor to just, end video games.
Is also bad for children. We need to treat violent video games the way we treat tobacco, alcohol, and pornography. We know that these products are damaging to children, and we need to give parents the tools to keep them out of kids' hands. If you put it just really simply, these violent video games are stealing the innocence of our children. And it is certainly making the job of being a parent even more difficult. So the time has come to put on the brakes and to just insist that parents know what material is in the video games their children play, and to pass laws with real teeth that will send a clear message that we really do mean business.
Now, hang on. So this was the reaction to all of that.
The Hillary Project bills itself as the only thing standing between her and the White House. And this Slap Hillary game on its website is now causing an uproar. The New Hampshire-based group says it wants to wage a war on Clinton's image should she run for president in 2016.
This is clearly
Sid run for president in 2016.
Honestly, one of the worst parts about this so-called game. It's a gimmick, and it.
So, I should say what ultimately happened with it. Yes, of course, violent video games shouldn't be sold to children. Yes, of course, games should have age restrictions on them. Obviously, GTA, the new GTA, all the GTA games should be 18s, obviously, and kids shouldn't be playing them at all. But parents do buy them for their kids and don't care, which is silly. But what Hillary Clinton tried to do was Hillary Clinton wanted to outright ban them eventually, and then when she lost that because of the First Amendment, she kind of went to, oh, we just want to put age restrictions on them, which is good, fair enough. But originally, she just wanted to outright ban all violent video games and games for adults basically, and that was never going to happen because of the amount of money involved. Just like they can't ban tobacco because money. Well, you could kind of get away with banning tobacco now because it isn't as popular as it used to be, and it's not socially acceptable. And back then, you see, it wasn't really socially acceptable to play video games where it is now. So that's why she kind of thought, oh, well, this is an easy thing to get away with. This is an easy thing to run on. And this is an easy win for me. And she lost spectacularly because these video game companies, they could put money into elections and stuff like that and go, no. So, yeah. So this is on the smack bit Hillary Clinton. Like, this is kind of why Hillary Clinton lost as well because, in 2016, because nobody liked her. She was awful.
It shouldn't have any place in our politics. That's outrageous.
The anti-sexism group Ultraviolet says over 100,000 people have signed its online petition demanding the game be taken down. And top Democrat Nancy Pelosi tweeted, like all violence against women, it's sick. But the Hillary Project is firing back, saying liberals complaining now said nothing about this Slap Sarah Palin game when it surfaced.
Now, the Hillary Project released another statement this morning making some of these same points. But I should say that these Hillary jokes have been around for a while. Some folks may remember the Hillary Clinton nutcracker that was being sold during the 2008 election. But with all the attention on the former Secretary of State and her potential presidential plans, we could see more of this type of thing.
So that's the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. It's just kind of show the mental, the craziness of the media over video games back in the day, and kind of like, I want to think, somebody please think about the children, and the whole thing of it was video game companies were kind of like, we just want to make this product and put it out. It's up to you guys what you want to, if you want to slap a sticker on it to say it's for adults only. It's like, and it's up to you guys to say, like, to tell us, like, not to promote it to anybody. And it's just the same, like, with TV and cartoons. Sure, cartoons back in the original cartoons back in the day, like, Tom and Jerry were hitting each other with frying pans. You don't have that anymore. You know what I mean? Eventually that was phased out, and now cartoons are all kind of, really vapid, actually. They're just like, they have to learn a lesson. You know what I mean? You have to learn a lesson, and they're not really violent anymore. And so, yeah. But, so that's kind of the evolution of video games. And so, obviously, if you're under 18, you shouldn't be playing GTA. I'm just going to say that. You shouldn't be playing GTA. Like, maybe 16's, like, I think 16 is okay, but obviously I'm not a lawmaker. Obviously it's not up to me. But yeah, there wasn't real gut overreaction to GTA and violent video games back in the day, just because of one video game that I won't mention. But yeah, there hasn't been like a violent thing happen because of a violent video game like GTA. It's just, and they're really messing with kids' heads and stuff. And it's just like, again, watch that Penn and Teller episode. and there's been lots of studies since to say, like, no, it's very small amount. But also, yeah, of course there should be age limits and stuff like that. So, and like, it's not as if there isn't enough of games that are put out for kids these days. But kids want to play kids want to play Fortnite because, oh my god, Fortnite, and it's advertised, and oh my god, I want that. So yeah, the advertising should only be like for adults. They shouldn't be put on like, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or anything like that. Like, when kids are watching, they shouldn't be advertised to these kids. I don't even think kids should play Fortnite but anyway, that's a whole other debate. That's a whole other video. But again, this is what I had to put up with when I was a kid in the 90s, and I guess kids are still putting up with today. But it's more these days now. It's more regulated, and it's more understandable, and also you have a generation now, like my generation, who grew up playing video games, and are just like, no, you can't play that game. No, you're not getting that game. You know what I mean? I think adults nowadays are more tuned into it, and you're more tuned into, no, you can't play this, you can't play that type of thing. So anyway, but yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed the video. This special on video games. I kind of made it because I've seen so much stuff talked about video games recently, and so much stuff talked about GTA. There's a lot of the woke, oh my god, it's so woke, and it's just like, woke sells, okay? Woke is the truth. Get over yourself, grow up, let's all move on with our lives, for the love of God. And hopefully after the next election. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, so remember to like and subscribe, check out my channel, check out my videos. Check out my Biffy video, it's really good. Check out my Metallica video, it's really good. It's an hour long. I go to both shows and even the store that they have as well. Check out all the other videos put out since, and there will be more retro card unboxing videos coming soon, and there will be like lots of stuff happening soon. But like, yeah, I hope this video is educational to a degree. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was just me taking like a week off from opening boxes of cards, because it's kind of, but yeah, I want to start making kind of videos like this to kind of show the history of stuff and things that interest me. You know what I mean? And I might start putting out these videos on Mondays. I will still put out the card videos on Fridays, but I might start putting out these videos on Mondays. Actually, I think the card videos do better during the week, so I might put them out on Mondays and these videos out on Fridays. I don't know. I'll see what the algorithm does to them, and I'll see what happens. So thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks again for 1,000 subscribers. And next milestone will be 1,500. I'll do something big for 1,500. I'm not doing anything big now for every time I hit 100 subscribers. I was only doing that up until 1,000. But I will do it for 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, that kind of thing. And also, like I've got like my life and stuff like that, so I don't really have time to be going. But to like big events and stuff like that. But I have stuff planned for later in the year. I have other big videos planned coming. Don't worry, like I have stuff coming. They just won't be like big celebration videos. It'll just be like a video and I'm just put it out. Next time I go to a concert, I'm just gonna film it and just put it out. Next time I go to a show or anything like that, I don't have to wait now till I hit a milestone. I'm just gonna put it out. And there are stuff like that coming. Like there is loads of stuff coming. Don't worry, guys. There's loads of stuff. I have loads of ideas. I've been looking at loads of events and stuff that's coming up, and I'm very excited to go to them. I'm just enjoying the summer. That's all that's happening. I enjoyed the World Cup. I'm just enjoying the summer now, and but there's lots of stuff coming now in the winter, and yeah, I hope you stay tuned. I hope you all enjoy it, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.